Hello, my name is Mariana Soto, and this is my final movie for EDUC 526 with Dr. Joanne Gilbreth at Azusa Pacific University. My journey began when I realized I wanted to pursue education as a career. I wanted to help shape the minds of our youth and help them succeed in an ever-globalizing market. I also saw a disparity with the quality of education given youth based on their social-economic standing. I knew I could not stand by and do nothing. I started working for a small charter school called Soledad Enrichment Action, SEA for short. Their mission is to work with at-risk youth who have not been successful in traditional educational settings. I started as a TA, then a substitute, and finally got offered a position as a teacher. In order to do this, I needed to get a credential. I had heard many great things about APU, and when I heard about their single subject credential and master's option, I was intrigued. As I looked into APU as a school, I saw it met my needs for night classes since I was a district intern. While all these reasons were great, what really drew me to APU was their four cornerstones of Christ, scholarship, community, and service. I wanted a school that would help me learn how to integrate my faith in the classroom. Teaching is not just my job, it is my calling. And a new APU would help me learn how to do it with excellence. I started the digital teaching and learning masters as I finished my single subject credential in history and English. One of the major highlights was that all of the classes were small in size, so the teachers could help every student with any question that they had. The most valuable class I had was EDUC 514 with Bill Selleck. I learned how to storyboard, shoot and edit an instant usable video for my classroom. I also learned how to edit videos from an online source. In EDUC 515 with Tim McKean, I learned how to use Audacity to record, edit, and publish podcasts. I learned how to make a video podcast, which has helped me with reteaching students and leaving assignments when there is a sub. I also learned how to screencast and make video podcasts more dynamic. In EDUC 512 with Professor Hernandez, I learned how to do practical things like use Adobe Suites to make PDFs, utilize Google Docs in the classroom, and a variety of educational tools on Microsoft Office. I also created a web quest for my English class. They researched the slave laws that were in effect during the time of Frederick Douglass's narrative, and then created a multi-flow PowerPoint narrative of a slave at that time. In EDUC 522 with Professor Jennifer Kordoff, I learned about multiple intelligences, which has revolutionized how I view education. I now strive to do lesson plans that not only incorporate but assess students through all the multiple intelligences so that no child is left feeling like they are not as smart as the rest. Part of being an effective educator is problem solving. We were given the opportunity to do an action research project. The problem I focused on was students not being on task as they came to class. They would take about 2 to 3 minutes to grab their books, get paper, and take a seat. We would lose at least 3 minutes of class time each day. The solution I came up with was writing and displaying a set of expectations for the classroom. I conducted research for 3 weeks. The first week, we got the time down to about 1 minute and 30 seconds. But then I went on vacation and the subs did not enforce the rules. The second week, there were 5 new students and 2 old students had been expelled. By the end of the time remained about 3 minutes. The turnover of students, as well as the students' attitude of not caring, some trying to get expelled, made it very hard to change the culture of the classroom. While this action research project did not successfully solve the problem that I was facing in my classroom, I am confident that the change, as slow as it may be, will happen soon, as long as I keep doing action research to figure out what is effective in this class. I created an economic unit that integrates technology for 11th and 12th graders. When most people think economics, they think about greed and making money. And who doesn't want to make money? Instantly, you have a subject that catches your students' attention. In this unit, the students will be introduced to economics, and that it is so much more than just making money. They will learn how it affects every aspect of their lives and learn to make wise economic decisions. They will also learn about how companies make decisions and what kind of organizations there are that are involved in economics and their roles. So what is economics? Economics is not about having mass amounts of product. In fact, it begins with a lack of product called scarcity. There are limited resources and unlimited demands. Businesses must choose what they are going to produce, how they are going to produce it, and who they will market it to. Basically, what will get them the most money. They must do this by using land, labor, and capital, or economic factors. They make money if people want to buy their product. This is called supply and demand. We are the people who demand the product they are going to supply. Our role is important in the circular flow of economics because we provide the labor and make the goods to buy them. Normally, we buy these goods from partnerships or corporations, but there are other economic organizations like unions that protect the workers' interest. This unit will take about 14 classes to complete or a month and a week. It is based on economic standards which explain the basic concepts of economics. What are goods and resources, how we use them, and who provides these goods and services. We then go into individual groups within economics, who entrepreneurs are, and the government and corporations' roles in economics. To ensure that there are authentic assessments, we will use California English standards not only in relation to reading, but in presenting in front of the class. Because we will be watching films, the students must know how to assess spoken material. Additionally, the unit incorporates technology. Technology is not only important to economics today, but also to the students' education. They will utilize technology not only to research, but to create authentic projects that will assess their learning. By doing this, the unit brings equity for each student individually who might not be the standard test taker. The unit incorporates Bloom's taxonomy to ensure that in each lesson, students move from basic understanding of concepts to a deeper understanding of material so that they can apply it in their everyday lives. Realizing that students learn differently, the unit focuses on 8 intelligences. People that have strong verbal intelligence will love discussions with classmates and proposals they will make. Those who are interpersonal will love a variety of group work, ranging from small tasks to big projects like creating a commercial. Kinesthetic students will like making skits and doing workshops with manipulatives to aid their understanding. For the student that hates group work and needs time to process on their own, there are a variety of online blogging assignments and podcasts they will complete on their own. Students who are naturalists might have the hardest time learning about economics, so this unit focuses on having meaningful projects that will inspire the creative in them. Visual students have plenty of graphics, videos, and educational games to keep their minds stimulated and learning. For the student who always has a song in their mind, we will use music to make economics come alive, and then the student will create music to illustrate their understanding of the content. While logical students might hate musical projects, they will thrive when completing math tasks and interpreting data to show various economic concepts. This unit incorporates a plethora of technology. You might be wondering why. That's because the world is now global. Keeping this in mind, the students need to be equipped with the skills that will make them competitive in the job market. Instead of fighting the students with the things that they always use, we might as well embrace them and incorporate it to make them part of a larger dialogue in terms of economics. We'll be using Twitter, Poll Everywhere, Evernote, Wikispaces, and Google Forms in order for the students to put their ideas out there. We will also be using technology like Audacity for the students to be giving the voice to make podcasts. The students who are musically talented can make rap music educational. To keep engagement high, we'll be using Glogster and MindMeister in order to create different thinking maps. Prezi will be used to do presentations and Flickr to get the different pictures. To prepare them for jobs, they'll be using PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, and Excel. To make things a little more creative, we're going to be using GarageBand, iMovie, and iPhoto. All these technologies are incorporated in order to keep things paperless. And since economics is all about scarcity, let's keep that paper safe. To sum it up, economics can be a very boring and dry subject. But it's the teacher's job to engage the students because let's face it, our students are the future. And our future needs to be economically stable. By using the 8 multiple intelligences, we can engage the students in a dialogue about economics and inspire them to embrace their intelligences, becoming the next writers, inventors, musicians, and people that just make really cool things. I hope that you've found this unit easy to navigate and understand.